Barcelona will not be overly busy in the transfer market this summer due to their well-documented financial problems. They are about to sign Joan Garcia from city rivals Espanyol, but there may only be one more addition to Hansi Flick's squad. Deco opens up on Barcelona transfer plans. Barcelona sporting director Deco will be in charge of the club's transfer business, and as per MD, he has now given an insight into his thinking ahead of the second window opening at the start of July. He made it clear where the Catalans' possible second signing will be in terms of squad areas. I think we have quite a good balance both in defense and in midfield. There are players who are still going to grow, like Xavi who returns from injury, but with pre-season he will improve a lot. There is also Marc Bernal who was injured at the beginning of the season. We have Araujo and Dani Olmo, with whom we are working so that they do not suffer injuries again. And in attack it will depend on what we can do in the market. But it may be the only area in which we identify that one or the other player is missing. This news is not overly surprising, with it having been reported in the media for several months that Barcelona want a new attacker, and specifically, a left winger. Luis Diaz is believed to be the club's top target, although a deal appears unlikely to happen after Liverpool rebuffed an approach last week. It will be interesting to see whether Barcelona can afford to make another signing on top of Garcia. Diaz remains the favorite, although there is also interest in the likes of Marcus Rashford and Nico Williams, either of whom would be an excellent addition. Barcelona have not been at their best in the transfer market over the last few days, and that trend continues in 2024 with Vitor Roque. The teenager arrived from Atletico Paranaense with lots of promise, but in the end he left just over 12 months after making the move from his home country. Roque struggled for prominence during the second half of the 2023-24 season, and he was then loaned out to Real Betis last summer before joining Palmeiras on a permanent deal in February 2025. Deco looks back on disastrous Vitor Roque episode. As per MD, Barcelona sporting director Deco has now opened up on the Roque situation, where he admitted that it was a mistake for the Brazil international to arrive 6 months ahead of schedule. He arrived in January. For me it was a mistake. But we didn't have many alternatives. Xavi wanted it that way. The idea was that it would come in the summer of 2024. I think that hurt him. And of course at Barcelona the demand is very high. If you worry too much about what the press is saying, you can get into trouble. His first 6 months were not good. I also think that there was a lack of attention to detail from the staff in the club to detect the problems he was having, adaptation even on a mental level. We weren't able to help him as much as he needed. And Deco revealed that this decision was made by Xavi. Coaches are always listened to in signings. The decision to bring him in January was Xavi's. It was decided to advance his adaptation period by 6 months. In the end, football is like that. Going to Europe very soon is always complicated, and even more so if it's to a club like Barcelona or Real Madrid. Xavi confirmed it himself back in 2024 that Roque was not supposed to arrive during the winter, although he did not say whose decision it was. Deco has now made it clear that it was made by the then head coach, which is bound to further increase animosity between him and his former club. Shock European club emerge as contenders to sign Jack Grealish from Manchester City this summer, with Everton also interested in out-of-favor star. Bayer Leverkusen have emerged as a contender to sign Jack Grealish from Manchester City this summer, according to reports. Grealish's days at the Etihad appear to be coming to an end, but it remains to be seen which club would offer the 29-year-old his next destination, with 2 years left on his current deal. According to The Sun, Leverkusen are set to enter the race for his signature. The Bundesliga side are on the cusp of losing their best player, Florian Wirtz, in a huge move to Liverpool. The German playmaker is expected to join Arne Slot's champions for a fee in excess of £113 million, and Leverkusen would have plenty of money to play with. New boss Erik ten Hag is said to admire Grealish, as the club set about rebuilding following a number of key departures. He is set to be left out of the City squad playing at the Club World Cup this summer and did not make the matchday group for his side's final Premier League game of the season against Fulham, with Pep Guardiola admitting they will work to find a solution for all sides. Grealish is understood to be interested in a move abroad, although there are Premier League clubs still interested in him. As Mail Sport exclusively revealed, Everton have emerged as shock contenders to make him a statement signing, although it would likely be a loan deal. Grealish currently earns £300,000 a week, and unless he takes a pay cut elsewhere, those figures could be prohibitive to interested parties. Everton boss David Moyes previously spoke of his admiration when Grealish was at boyhood side Aston Villa, saying in 2021, He is a really good player and probably the best player in the Premier League at this time. He has done such a big job at that club and is probably the best player in the league right now. Grealish endured a tricky season at City, finishing the campaign with just 1 goal and 1 assist in the Premier League. He is hoping a move elsewhere could resurrect his England career and force a call-up in time for next year's World Cup. Man United are maintaining contact with Sporting Lisbon over the signing of Victor Gyökeres as Ruben Amorim eyes reunion with Swedish striker. Manchester United are maintaining contact with Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres as they try to secure their main targets. The Old Trafford club, who are still reeling from their worst-ever Premier League campaign, are exploring the conditions of a potential deal for the prolific Swedish striker. The 27-year-old has long been touted as United's top transfer target, with the Swede having previously worked under Ruben Amorim at Sporting. Gyökeres also has interest from Juventus and Arsenal, should their move for Benjamin Sesko falter. The Red Devils have made initial contact with the Portuguese champions, with Gyökeres believed to have an £85 million release clause. He has a gentleman's agreement with Sporting to leave for £58 million this summer. The financial impact United's failure to qualify for European football initially looked to severely damage their hopes of securing the striker, who netted 39 league goals from just 31 starts in the Portuguese top flight last season. United are continuing to work on a possible deal to bring Bryan Mbeumo to Old Trafford. United offered Brentford £55 million for the 25-year-old earlier this week, but the bid was rejected. There had been reports that Tottenham Hotspur, who beat United in last month's Europa League final, were looking to hijack United's move for Mbeumo, given Brentford boss Thomas Frank is expected to replace Ange Postecoglou. However, a bid from Spurs is not thought to be imminent. Newcastle, who will join Spurs in the Champions League after finishing 5th in the Premier League, have also expressed interest in Mbeumo. But Mbeumo made it clear to Newcastle that he would rather move to Old Trafford. United have also already signed Matheus Cunha from Wolves for £62.5 million. The club are hoping to shift the likes of Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho to raise further funds.